Good morning, everybody. Today is September 18th. I thought I'd share a little bit of the work that I do behind the scenes to get you guys ready and set up for some good opportunities here. So part of what I do is research, and research consists of improving the opportunities for live trades. I'm going to have to log in here. Hold on. By the way, this is going to be a good example. If you are new to mint.com and don't know how to do this, you go to the website, you click on login. If you haven't already created your account, you can go ahead and create it. It's free. You click on LiveTrades end of day, LiveTrades end of day, and the page will load. Sometimes there's this page not working. Just wait a bit. This is part of the redirect, and it comes right up. And this is where you get your weekly video, which has already been updated, and you get your weekly summary pages, which include the new summary pages. But additionally, there's all types of trading activity that you can see here going on. This is the NASDAQ 100 standard model. There's 45 active trades, 194% total profit. Average profit per trade is 4.32%. You can click on the new feature here for new triggers, which will list all 45 new triggers. So you can see this is a new trigger to get flat. This is anything that's got this new trigger here. Recently, I've added this new target action process, which is a new feature to take profits. It is set up as half and half. So the target is set for half the original position, and the second half remains. You can see here with Baidu, we have 2.88% on a new trigger from just a couple of days ago. We have no target action. Right here, there's no new target being hit. We have our trade protection level at 238, and we have our thrust ranking at minus 1.45. So these are changes that I'm working on with regards to the code to make improvements. But what I'm going to show you right now is the actual working process of what I do. So this is my eSignal page. This is one of the prototype systems I'm working on, the new Reddit list, which will be added. These are the hot stocks that are listed on Reddit. And what I've been doing right here, I want you to focus on, let me clear this. I will reload this. And I want you to focus on these core numbers right here. Let me see if I can make these bigger. So core numbers. Right now, we have an annual reporting. This is the code that runs in the background to feed the TT scan or the LiveTrades data. So we're looking at TA on a daily basis. I'll get rid of the drawing. This is the actual code. These are the trades taking place in the background on the chart that you guys don't see. And what we're looking for right now, ladies and gentlemen, is historical accuracy, and I'm trying to create a ranking system. So you can see here, this is the historical results, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. You can see it's done fairly well. 2019 was a bit of a hiccup, minus 26%, wasn't very profitable, but consistently it's done pretty darn well. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm creating a short-term ranking system. That's what these two numbers are. So this is telling us of the last 6 trades, 5 were winners, totaling 58%. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a last 6 ranking, and then I'm creating a general ranking here, 16.62. So in this particular scenario, this is telling you that over the short-term basis, at 8.87 right here, and over the long, or 7.8, and over the moderate long term, 16.62, it creates a ranking system. Now, hypothetically, if we took a look at this and said, well, how did it really perform? This is the back test of TA going forward. This is showing you the trade activity that's taken place. You can see 2019 right here was very flat, didn't do very much, lost some money overall from where we started. And that's actually 12.19 right there. So this is 12.18. This is 2019 right here. And if we take a look at the periodic table, you can see that 2019 was not very good. minus $5.78 dollars. This trades, by the way, it just trades two. It goes into and gets out two, goes into, gets out two, and then of course if we hit a target, which will be right here, goes into, out one, out one. So this is really not trading hundreds or thousands. It's just basically into, out one, and one, or into, out two. So historically, we can see that the system made $56 over the historical. The trade accuracy was 64%. The average win-loss ratio was about 1.4 to 1, which is great. 1.4 to 1 with a 64% average win-loss ratio is fantastic. You know, you can see here historically, if we come down here, Z-score of 44, confidence, I think there's other data down here, upside ratio, Sorrentino ratio. So understand that and again, these numbers are a little skewed because it's thinking that it's holding against a $100,000 account. But you can see here, historically, close-to-close ratio, we went up, went sideways, and then 2020, 21, we started to really perform. And when you come back over here and you take a look at the chart, you can see it kind of mirrors what's going on with the actual data. You can see that we had some fairly narrow volatility, some fairly solid flat trading, and then we started to get into a bit more explosive moves. Now we are in a current trade over here. You can see this current trade is taking place. We just hit our target. So if I spread this out, you can see that we got long right over here, and we hit a first target here. Actually, that's an exit. So there's our exit. We would be looking to, we are out. We pulled a profit on this last trade, and that's going to be reflected here in these numbers. But again, the point behind this is to give you ranking. So if we take a look at another, let's go to DTE. I'll just take a look at these things in order, show you what's going on. Let me reload this and clear it. The benefit behind this, ladies and gentlemen, is that you're going to be able to pick stocks that are consistent, performing, and within relative volatility. So here you have a stock that has a positive 5 for the moderate ranking and a positive 8 for the short-term ranking. So those are much narrower than, still positive, but much narrower than the positive 20 or 30 or 50 that we could see, or negative 20, 30, 50. But ideally, I want you to see here that this has performed at 8, -1, -12, 5, what have you. This has performed relatively flat. It's still 6 of 2 for -1.5. Sorry, 2 of 6 for -1.5. It is performing fairly well overall over the last 6 trades. That's what it's telling us. It's holding its own. It's staying relatively positive, and it is performing fairly well. This would be a scenario where you could look at this and say, volatility-wise, fairly narrow. You could put a small amount or a medium-sized amount of capital behind this trade and possibly rely upon the first target a bit more efficiently because the volatility is so narrow, meaning pull maybe 60, 70% off at the first target. And what I'm trying to do with this is make this work with every symbol I throw at it. So let's try UNH. Try a different symbol. So UNH is, clear this again so you focus on the real data. UNH is showing us 19, -1, -5, -27, -0.63, and 1.20. So you can see here it's 3 of, now what's going to happen over a period of time like this is you're going to see historically on the backtest results, you're going to see a rotation to the downside. It hasn't been nasty. It's basically lost about 11% over the lifetime of this system, rolling sideways through these trends. We still have a overall ranking of 3.6, a short-term ranking of 5.4. And again, what we're seeing here, ladies and gentlemen, is it is starting to perform more recently than what had been seen in prior data. That's what this is telling us. The 3.6 is telling us it's moderate performance overall. 5.4 means over the last 6 trades, it's starting to perform quite a bit better, even though it's still at a negative return right here. So let me clear this, pick something else. Let's try RC. And again, what I'm doing is just picking random stocks. That's what I want to see this happen. So this is a stock that has not been performing well. You can see it did well in 2017 and 18, then lost 14%, lost 0.7, lost 1, and currently lost 9. You can see it is a negative 9 in general ranking and a negative 12 in short-term ranking. It's 2 of the last 6 trades for minus 10%. So this gives you an idea that this is just not performing well, and that way you can avoid it by using these ranking numbers. Now, what will happen is when it shifts from non-performance to performance, these numbers will start to move up. Obviously, the short-term number will start to move up a little higher, and this long-term number will increment higher over time. Let's take a look at AMD. And again, I'm looking at these Reddit lists. Okay, AMD. Try to get you this data. AMD has performed extremely well. Look at these numbers. Only 1 year, 2019, is a negative 5.83%. It has performed. Now, the reason we don't have data for 2016 is that the system was calculating on the 1,500 bars I'm looking at. But you can see here, plus 8 on the long-term ranking, plus 5 on the short-term ranking, 5 out of 6 for 29%. It's holding up very, very well. We take a look at the historical backtest, and we can see that AMD is just chunking right along, having a couple of pullbacks, but still chunking right along, looking to try to maybe break into some new highs here. And this ranking system is going to give you the ability to really know what's coming and how to trade it and how the volatility is. So let's try a different one. I haven't looked at this one. CD. CD doesn't have a lot of data. It's currently flat. You can see the negative long-term ranking and the positive short-term ranking. Not really doing much, ladies and gentlemen. Getting ready to change, but this is something you can watch. Let's look at IT. What the heck? Take a look at a symbol we haven't looked at before. Okay, IT has got, and this is a good example. IT has historically performed quite well. You see this? 5%, minus 2, plus 3.7, plus 19.38, plus 71.84, and currently this year, minus 13.83. What's happening is we are getting quite a bit of rotation in this scenario. We're not seeing over the last trades in 2020 or 2022, we've got one trade here, looks like it got stopped out. One trade here that took a minor profit, actually may have exited trying to get into profits or to avoid risk. And we got one trade here that looks like it got out with a 1 or 2% profit. So it's holding its own, but it's not really making a lot here. And this was probably our big loser right here. Possibly I have to check down here, October. So this trade didn't count. We've only had 3 trades here, 1, 2, 3 in 2020. But you can see the overall ranking is minus 5 and the short-term ranking is minus 18. This is telling us again, ladies and gentlemen, that we're just not seeing fantastic returns right now, even though historically it's done quite well. And we take a look at the backtest report, you'll see that historically it's done tremendous. And that's where you're going to see here. I'll probably add a broader term historical ranking, maybe increase this a little bit to include longer data. But long and short of it, historically it's done very, very well. But we're in a bit of a sideways channel here, which you need to be aware of. That's what these current ranking levels are designed to show you. Minus 5 means that theoretically you're looking at a 4.5 to 5.5% volatility ratio, risk ratio per trade. And minus 18 means that over the last couple of trades, it has not performed very well. Even though we've got 4 of 6 winners over the last trades, we are not seeing very strong performance overall. Okay, so now let's take a look at, pick something new. Let's try, where am I? Let's try this AR and YOU. So AR is Antero Resources. Oh, wow, look at this number. So what I'm trying to do with this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to make this code adapt to opportunities and price range. I call it adaptive learning. It's a form of artificial intelligence, and I'm trying to make it work for pretty much everything I throw at it. Now, that's going to be a tall order to get it to trade efficiently and make money on everything I throw at it. But the whole point here is that that's my goal. That's what I want to try to do. So here we have the Antero Resources. So very early on, we had some losses, about 23%. Now understand that you wouldn't be throwing your entire portfolio at this. So you would take, if you were to trade, like I explained in LiveTrades, 100 grand, trading these stocks, you would break it up into 10 or 15 slots with a cash reserve. And what this would end up being is roughly, 6 to 8% of your total portfolio. Now, 6 to 8% on these annual returns would mean that this would be 0.02% for the year. This would be minus 1.8% for the year. This would be plus 0.8% roughly for the year. This would be plus 0.2% for the year roughly. This would be plus roughly 1.6% for the year. And this would be plus 5% for the year. So ideally, when you break this down into smaller allocation tables, we're not super concerned about the broad scope of this, like if you were to put all of your money into this. But now understand that this is won 6 of the last 6 trades. It's beautiful. It's got an 81% ratio is what this is telling us. I'll have to check, make sure that's percent, not total points. We have a short-term ranking of 88.99. We have a longer-term ranking of 77.42, one of the biggest rankings we've seen. And again, if you were to take a look at this from the actual backtest report, you can see that it's had its moment. This was our loss in 2018. Then it rallied back out of that 2019, end of 2018 and 19, it looks like. Actually, this would be end of 2018 is right down here near the bottom. And then 2019 starts right over here, right there roughly, and we start moving forward. So you can see 2019 was fairly flat. 2020 was fairly flat. 2021, we started to make some money. In 2022, we've made quite a bit of money in this trade. So how would you look at this from a standpoint? Short term, it is at an 88, meaning it's doing very well over the last 6 trades. Longer term, it's holding its own. From a drawdown standpoint, you have moderate drawdown. You can see here you have moderate drawdown that you can deal with from a small basis. If this was 10% of your portfolio, you'd be looking at 2.3% drawdown overall running the system, and it's performed pretty darn well. So now we'll come over here and take a look at AR versus YOU, and not a lot of data. It is losing money this year. You can see we've only got a couple of trades, and it's not really doing much. So we're going to skip this, go to another one. Let's try AVCT. Wow, a little spotty. Still positive. You can see this huge 47 in 2020. That's got to be right over here. This is very, very spotty. I wouldn't want to trade this simply because of the volatility and the fact that it's down at 18 cents. And remember, I pulled all of these off of Reddit. Let's try to find another one. Let's try VOO, V-O-O. Okay, VOO is Vanguard Index Funds, S&P. So historically, it has performed moderately well. Recently, it's in a bit of a downturn. And my ranking system is showing, ignore this. Let me clear this and reload. My ranking system is telling us that historically it's done okay. So far for 2022, it has not performed very well. And you can see the short-term ranking is minus 3.85. Long-term ranking is minus 3.3, telling us that 3 of the last 6 trades were winners. It has not been performing very well. And this is telling us essentially that it is longer term has performed very well. Currently, it's in a bit of a downtrend. So you can use this when it turns. The way I expect you to use this is when these numbers get fairly flat and or turn negative, to start pulling some capital away from these. When they turn back positive, that means we're entering into a bit of a longer term transitioning phase. So hypothetically, let's see here, DM, try to find something that has turned somewhat positive. This is negative, negative, negative. You can see this was a very big spike. Desktop metal. Let's try TQQQ. This is the ProShares Ultra Trust. All right, so here's a scenario where it has performed. 3 of the last 6 trades are positive. You can see the performance in 2018-19 was fairly flat. It has been making money. You can see here through the backtest report that it has a little bit of flatness. It started making money, quite a bit of volatility, started to actually turn positive. So we had been negative back here in this area. We had gone into downward trending, and now we're into upward trending. If we come over here to the periodic report, you'll see that we have gone, so here's our reports. Monthly, periodic rolling analysis. So we've gone positive, and here's our couple of negatives back here where we had gone negative. So what happened here, ladies and gentlemen, is we rolled from a downward cycle trending into an upward cycle trending. And now if you take a look at it, we have gone into positive short term at 20, positive longer term at 17. We're starting to perform very, very well right now. This gives us a very good indication that we can put our money into this. We can deal with it. We have some idea with these numbers. Remember, these are percentages. So you have an idea here that we could be seeing, if this was 10% of your total allocation, you would say that short term we could see a 2 to 2.1% variant in our trading results up and down. Longer term, it averages out to about a 1.7, 1.8% variance in our trading return. Historically, we have been performing quite well over the last couple of years. We had a couple of moderate years here, which again would be 1.6, 1.7% losses if it was only 10% of your portfolio. And right now, we are 3 of 6. These are only completed trades. This does not include any current trade we have in here. So this is a way for you to rank, gauge, and understand how things are performing overall. And these will be included in the LiveTrades results. So when you take a look over here at LiveTrades, this is the page that everyone looks at. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to provide these ranking data in here so that you can take a look at it. And then when you move into a actual trade trigger, let's take a look here. You move into this page, this data will be presented right in this area so you can see what's actually going on right as you look at the trade and determine how the ranking system is playing out. Okay? The long-term goal of you supporting what I'm doing and becoming a member is that I can continue to develop and improve these systems. And that's the ultimate goal for what we're going to do as a team. Ideally, I want this to be able to say, okay, throw anything at it. So again, we'll come over here, try to pick something I haven't looked at. ARISGM, ESTA. I think I've looked at most of these. Let's try up. See what up is. Wheels Up Experience doesn't have a lot of data. Still positive. Let's try BE. I think I've looked at that already. Nope. Okay, BE is very volatile, trading sideways. And you can see here it's actually pretty ugly for the current year. It made some money back in 2019. That's back over here in this extended trending. We've got these big rotational trends. It's not giving you a lot of opportunity. It's showing you basically a minus 49, which I would interpret as a minus 5% volatility ratio. Short term, a minus 36, which I would interpret as a minus 3.6 as 10% allocation into this trade. It is showing a 2 for 6 actual win to total trade ratio. It's not doing very well. Although it has made some money back in 2019, has recently given quite a bit of it back, so this historically would look fairly flat. If we were to look at UPS, UPS is historically, let's take a look at this from here, from this standpoint. You can see UPS historically has been fairly flat, trading sideways, made some money back over here in 2020-21, and then rolled extensively downward on this downward rotation. Now, where we're going to see these rolling of trends is 2021, so you're going to see that right over here in this rotation. This is basically sideways rotation going nowhere, and then it made some money here, made some money here, made money here, broke even here, made quite a bit of money right over here. This was a beautiful trade. It took a target right here, got exited out right up here. Same thing back here. But over the last, the 2022, we have very few trading opportunities. It's not performing very well. We would essentially avoid this or run a very small amount of capital in this if we decided we wanted to trade this, simply because the risks are showing 2.1% to minus 2.1% to minus 1.7%, and it is not performing very well. Let's try, oh, there's more up here. Let's try Gamestop. What the heck? This has been on a terror. All right, GameStop has, oh boy, this is going to be a fun one to look at. And this will give you an idea. It has made a ton of money during this spike when everything went crazy. And then generally it's just flattened out and not done anything. And it has not had the opportunity to capture any real profits in this. The risk ratio is minus 5.58 or minus 5.8, minus 6, call it 6%. Long-term ratio is minus 43. That means that we've got a minus 4.3 to 4.5% longer-term risk ratio here, meaning it's going to probably lose minus 4.3%. And that's because we're just not getting any real winners. It's one of the last 6 trades. Let's try AMC, another meme stock. AMC is showing the same thing. It's made some money, but hasn't really performed overall very well. Minus 6.7, that's the way I look at these, and minus 4.9. Maybe I'll change these based on the 10% increment. Let's try Tesla. Tesla has performed this year fairly poorly. It's trading sideways in a big volatile range. It has made a ton of money in the past. It's at minus 2% and minus 1.6% the way I calculate these. BBBY, another meme stock. Bed Bath & Beyond is minus 1.5 and minus 0.9%. You can see it has made some money in 2019 and 20, and has a little bit of money currently in this year's trading with this spike up, but nothing really beautiful. NVDA. NVIDIA is nice and consistent. Look at this. This is what we want to see. So roughly a 6 to 6 win ratio, beautiful, hitting beautifully. You're looking at a 0.2 2% average short-term winner, meaning that if it was a full position, you're looking at about 2.2% average winning trade, or if it's a 10th of your position, a 0.2% win. Long-term rank is basically a 1% average winner, or potentially 10% if you put all of your money into this. Nice and consistent returns. Look at these. We had a minus 8.94% year in 2019. That was the rotation back over here, this downward move. We got a target, an exit, upward move, target, exit, downward move, flat trade, downward move, flat trade, long trade, beautiful, moved up, a nice solid exit, long trade. This is actually 2020. So this trade actually counted, this beautiful long trade here counted in 2020, which gave us our 83% right here. So it's actually holding up very, very well. And that's the purpose behind these new ranking systems, is to show you that when you want to get into good ranking, you're looking for positive numbers here, and you're looking for a fairly high win ratio here. And that's going to give you the opportunity to trade what is working right now very consistently. Okay, so these are going to get integrated into LiveTrades back over here. It's going to give us an opportunity to see what's going on, and I'm going to restructure this menu to include some new Reddit trades. These two menus will be combined into one ETF menu. Then we will have the NASDAQ, the futures, the currencies. We'll modify the hot shots a bit, and then we'll include a couple extra lists. I'm probably going to also include some of the trade tank hot lists. So, for example, we have the core hot list and the value hot list. I'll probably include some of these in here as well. Get them set up to show you what's actually going on here with these. And again, looking forward to really seeing this be a huge success. Remember, you have the standard model, which is trading. Then you have the rotational model. Okay, the rotational model is basically buy or sell all the time. So understand, with the standard model here, this is the, look here in the standard model, we've got, this is the bullish 2x ETFs. We've got a total open position of 19 trades with 101% total profit. Average trades of 5.36. But look over here at the rotational modeling. Rotational modeling is an always-in modeling system. Got 320% total profit. Average in-trade profit of 8.65. So remember, you can use these to trade rotationally. This has been in a short trade since 720. This has been in a short trade since 713. This has been in a long trade since 727. And these rotational modeling systems are very, very cool because they give you incredible longer-term swing trades. It's not getting in and out of trades like the system I'm showing you over here. It's getting in and out of trades based on swing trade modeling. So let's come down here, look for something that's fairly long-term. Down here near the bottom. Okay, UGL got into a trade on 426. So UGL, when we come back over here and we scroll down to look at the trade, it got into a short trade way back over here, 426. Right there. It got into a short trade on that breakdown, and it has continued into a short trade all the way down. So it's a beautiful rotational modeling system where you can diversify your portfolio into some of these rotational systems. So currencies, rotational modeling system. Let's look for one of the oldest triggers, 666. Okay, so UUP got into a long trade on 614. So that's going to be a long trade right over here, 614 right there, and has been in a long trade all the way across. I'll try to spend some more time going through this with you guys, but it's a beautiful way to diversify your portfolio and find some great trades. All right, guys, that's it for now. Sorry for the long video. Just thought I would share. Remember, send me your comments. Post them in the YouTube comment section here. Let me know what you think. Trying to make this more feasible and functional so you guys can pick trades more efficiently. All right, guys, that's it.